about who the Obidients really are besides the prejudices and the sound bites we hear. Here is who the Obidients are, coming from somebody who is integrally involved in the core demographic group that makes up the Obidient movement.
Wayumi Lube is 24 and is one of the organizers of a movement supporting Obi known as Obidients.
The Obidient movement is pretty simple. We're just a group of frustrated Nigerians who want good governance. It's as simple as that. And we're running for presidency. Each and every one of us in the Obidient movement is running for presidency through Peter Obi.
Obi is a former governor of Anambra and is seen as a credible alternative to the two parties that have dominated politics since the end of military rule in 1999. The Obedience movement is powered by social media and similar to the NSAS protest, also nicknamed Sorosoke or Speak Up Against Police Brutality in October 2020. The Obedience movement continues to gather pace and gain momentum.
We must force free and fair elections on INEC and Tinubu in 2027. We must force it. If we don't force it, then forget it. No need for any elections. The only option, and it's clear that Tinubu wants to continue beyond 2027 as president of Nigeria. He wants to, and he knows it, that in a free and fair election, he doesn't stand a chance. So the signs are there. He's not interested in a free and fair election. So if any candidate, Peter Obi, whether acting as an individual candidate or in a coalition, if he's to have a chance to be sworn in, if he's to prevent being rigged out again, then we must force free and fair elections on INEC.
Folks, there you have it. Fred Wankwa didn't say it. Bold Talk didn't say it. The two Yoruba people, the two Yoruba gentlemen I've featured today so far are the ones saying things that I've been echoing for so long. My hope now is that Yoruba's bigots can listen to their own brothers and have a more realistic look for all of us. Not for me, not for Fred Wankwa, not for Bold Talk, for Nigerians. May God bless those two Yoruba men, and may God awaken the bigots in Yoruba land and make them see that Nigeria is bigger than Yoruba people or Igbo people or Fulani people or Edo people. Nigeria is bigger than all of us. Now, here is the next Yoruba person. In this case, it's very interesting because he throws all the lies that Yoruba bigots have been telling about Igbo. He throws all that stuff where it belongs, in the garbage. Listen to this wonderful interview with Eze Yoruba in Enugu State.
Good evening, viewers. Today I'm with a distinguished personality here in Enugu State. We are in Ibagwanike in Enugu State. And I'm with Oba Alhaji Abdulaziz Adebayo Olateju, Olono number 1 of Enugu State, Oba Yoruba in Enugu State. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you speak Hausa well, you speak Igbo well, you speak Yoruba well, correct?
Of course.
Did you hear that? He speaks Igbo, he speaks Yoruba, he speaks Hausa. That's a Nigerian, in this case, a Western Nigerian that Nigerians should be very proud of. That's what a true Nigerian should look like. Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wankwa coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on LMTV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world.
I think of my family and the poor fam house we had.
Here is the full interview with the Yoruba King, or Yoruba chieftain in Enugu. He's been there since 1982. More or less, his hometown has become Enugu. And he's not there alone. As you listen to the interview, you're going to find out he went home and brought some more of his uncles and cousins because he likes what he saw in Igbo land.
Okay. Ejeka fi di Yoruba tiwantiwa
Africa bere.
Beni. Omo ìlú ni sir.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. ọpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run bá ṣẹ̀dá.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ọmọ ẹ̀dẹ̀mọ̀ pọ̀ àrògùn ni mí, ọmọ ajílá lọ́ọ̀sọ́, ọmọ ají fi ọjọ́ gbogbo dára bí egbin nílùú tèmi.
Lẹ́dẹ̀. Ẹ̀bá kí mo ra sí Igbo.
Ẹ̀bá kan náà wọ́n ta sí Igbo.
Náà sí adé kan máa fọ.
Nke a bụ ihe a ga-ekwu iche maka na gbasara akụ asụsụ. Chineke nyere m onyinye ịnụ asụsụ. O nyere m ntị ịnụ asụsụ, ghọtakwa asụsụ. Ụfọdụ ọ na-adị ụfọdụ ka a na-asị m amụrụ m ebe a, ka m gara akwụkwọ ebe a, etogo m eto, anọ m Enugu a. Mgbe m bịa Enugu na 79 m bịara Enugu a, eso m wee tụọ vootu, ekwuo m n'aka wee bịa Enugu, amago m ihe wee bịa Enugu, abụgoro m nwoke wee bịa Enugu a. Anọ m ebe a tụọ vootu nke anyị tụtara Chief Dr. Jim Ifeanyichukwu nwa obodo, o ji wee bụrụ gọvanọ na Anambra steeti. Mgbe a ka anyị tụrụkwa Alhaji Shehu Shagari, Second Republic President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. So one can be Enugu.
How nasan track na Hausa anan na Enugu kakwaya.
Na jin Hausa. Ajin yare Hausa kuma ban taba je arewa ba, ban taba bi arewa. Ka san mutum zai ce to ya je arewa ya zo na ko sakara daya ko biyu ko uku shine ya sa ya je, mun ban taba je ko ina.
Anan kake.
Nan daga nan suna jin yare yana magana
da Hausa.
Da Hausa sai na kama.
The relationship with the owners, you are settlers here. Your relationship with the people here, is it cordial? The owners of the land, the Igbos that are in Enugu, is it cordial?
It's very, very cordial. Because, you know, when I wanted to come to Enugu, 1979,
yes,
my grandmother was crying.
Yeah.
When I prepared, Mama, I'm leaving to go and stay in Igbo land, she started crying.
What happened?
Because what they had been hearing before, that Igbo land, they will eat you, they will eat you up. You know, I know that one is because of the, you know, the war.
Exactly.
That happened.
Propaganda.
So then, that time, or before, prior to that time, the Yorubas are not willing to come to the east. To the east.
Yes.
So my grandmother cried. I said, Mama, you are just to help me with prayer, I will not be eaten up. Then I came to her and he prayed for me. He said, God is going to give you mother and father there. As I came to Enugu, God has chosen for me any area I stayed, I will have father and mother there.
Wow.
They took me as their own.
For real.
For real.
Wow.
Yes.
Before your grandmother is late now?
Yes, late now.
Did she, before she passed on, did she have any cause to rejoice that, my son has come home, he's doing well?
My grandmother just passed on 2012.
Okay.
So long ago, she embraced and thanked God for bringing me to Igbo land, because when I came to Enugu in 1982, I took her last born, which is my junior, the last born of my grandmother. I brought her to Enugu. He was in Bini before. I brought him to Enugu. Okay. About 4 years later or 5 years later, the one that senior me also, my grandmother's son, I brought him to Enugu.
Your grandmother was allowing them?
Yes, both of them are here in Enugu.
And they're doing well?
That when they sleep, when somebody has gone into deep sleep, they will start snoring.
Yes.
That's the meaning of that. So when the sleep is sweet, then we start slow snoring. Then when the stain is good, then they are going home, coming back. This place is good for this guy. So those people, my brother, my uncles, follow me. My siblings also follow me.
Sure.
Yes. I brought my cousin. I brought my uncles.
What did that? What? And they were fine here.
Yes. So all of us made it here.
God bless him. And I hope the bigots in Yoruba land could take a lesson or two from that gentleman. That's what being Nigerian should look like. And now we are moving more into politics. The next segment is a CNN interview with Peter Obi. It's interesting you really need to listen.
He's a wealthy businessman with a penny-pinching reputation, and he's shaking up the Nigerian electorate as he takes on two political heavyweights ahead of the country's presidential election.
You have nothing to fear.
Young people in the country say they are desperate for good governance amid concerns about high inflation, a depreciated local currency, and kidnapping for ransom by bandits. And 61-year-old Peter Obi appears to be a messiah of sorts for this generation, aged 24 and below, who make up around 32% of the population, according to the United Nations Population Fund.
Mr. Obi, thank you so much for being with us. You are certainly the most popular presidential candidate in Nigeria right now among young people. There is just so much momentum behind you. But here's the problem. Nigerians are used to being disappointed by their leaders. And when you think about some of the problems that are facing the country right now, they're systemic. I'm talking about corruption. I'm talking about oil theft. I'm talking about insecurity. I'm talking about the fiscal hole that Nigeria is in right now. Can all of that really be solved by one person?
Well, if you have a leader that is competent, have the capacity and commitment to start dealing with it, you're not going to solve it overnight. But there will be a clear, visible, measurable attempt to dealing with it. And they're things that are solvable. They're things that can be dealt with decisively.
If indeed you do become Nigeria's next president. Nigeria, as you know, is broke. It is barely able to service its debt. It spends so much more than it earns. What are your plans, just from a concrete perspective, what are your plans to take Nigeria's economy off of life support?
Well, a variety of things. One is that you have to deal decisively with the issue of security. It's impacting negatively on your economy today. You have to deal with it head on, because you have to get your farmers to go back to farm and start ensuring that the vast land of the north are invested, are cultivated on. You have to start pulling people out of poverty as quickly as possible. You have to reduce aggressively cost of governance and deal with the issue of corruption.
Anyone who knows anything about Nigeria knows that it has this embarrassing reputation of, despite the fact that it is Africa's largest oil producer, it imports refined fuel. What is your plan for transforming Nigeria's economy from a consumption economy to a production economy?
Let me use the issue of oil, for example. There's no reason why our refineries cannot work. There's no reason why we should not encourage private sector to build refineries and operate them. And they're not rocket science. It can be done as quickly as possible. You can use today the to remove the fuel subsidy, use the resources to support critical areas of production, from critical infrastructure to education to supporting investment in refinery, which will be, like I said, done within a shortest possible time.
A lot of Nigerian presidents have come in and talked about revitalizing the manufacturing sector, investing in refineries, but change, as you know, has been very, very slow. Why is it going to be different with you, and what would you say were the biggest hurdles in making sure that all of the things that you've just listed come to pass?
Well, what people need to do is to go and look at what I promised as a state governor when I said I'm going to turn around education, health, pull people out of poverty, bring sanity and civility in governance in Anambra State, whether that happened or not.
I want to talk about one of the other sort of major issues that Nigeria is grappling with right now, and that is, of course, violence and insecurity. You can barely travel from one part of Nigeria to another without fearing for your life. And I'm talking about kidnapping, I'm talking about banditry, I'm talking about terrorism, I'm talking about Boko Haram. What is your plan for that?
I did say that initially that what we need to first set down is issue of security. Because unless you have security, the farmers can't go back, you can't attract investment, nobody will ever want to go to an insecure place. And you can deal with that. There's so many, you need to do a lot of work, reorganize your security architecture, ensure that there's multi-level policing. Issue of state police has to be decisively dealt with. There's so many things you need to do. You need to bring in more personnel into the security system, equip them properly, ensure that they are properly motivated to deal with the issue of security, because the need it is the most important thing Nigeria needs today.
As you know, you and I are both Nigerian, we're both Igbos, we're both from southeastern Nigeria. Nigeria is a very hard country to hold together. You've got 200 million people, so many different tribes, so many different competing interests and ideas. And when you think about the fact that, you're from the southeast, how easy is it going to be to rally Nigerians perhaps from the north behind you? That's got to be on your mind.
That is what it was yesterday. And that's our problem. Because we have been able to elect people based on ethnicity, religion, my turn, connection, or one form of bias or the other, which brought us to where we are, or structure, which always says structure of criminality. That is what we want to dismantle now and ensure that the next election is based on character, capacity, competence, commitment to do the right thing. Nigeria is now not just in a physical mess, it is at the last stage to collapse. The people in the north don't have a secure place, they don't have good roads, they don't buy bread cheaper than people in the south. So is the people in the south. So all you hear about ethnicity, religion, connection, my turn, is elite conspiracy to keep Nigeria underdeveloped. But now we've reached the edge. We can no longer continue this way.
Mr. Obi, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on LNTV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
We've undertaken to make a difference. Our foundation is passionate about empowering communities and fostering growth. We are grateful for the opportunity. We invite you to follow us on our social media, Facebook and Instagram at Munacha Charity Support Foundation. You can also reach out to us via these platforms or through email if you have any questions. In the same vein, we'd like to extend our gratitude to all our supporters and partners.
Fred Wanko Publisher, African Lifestyle Magazine, Chicago. One for the Chicago Jemba. Onya chuku gossip. Amano bara we argument. Yola. Oh, man, no let me chibi. Amana yele wa adia wa mu arabazo chibi. Hey! Let's go window. Ana bala ni mosteti mu wanne na maratana. mama mamado, enyi mama mamado. Onya madobi manu de lo wa ufanye. Ala mala manu. Ume mwende